Thank you very much for the kind invitation to join you today in this fantastic event. We are huge believers in the Americas. As a bank, one of the anecdotes that gives us our identity is that we actually had a presence in the Caribbean before we actually had branches in Toronto, what is today the financial capital of Canada. We truly see ourselves as a bank for the Americas, and there are very important reasons why we see such an attractive prospect in the region. It's a region with a very youthful and vibrant population, huge natural resource endowments, and very complementary economies. If you drive from the northern tip of the hemisphere to its southern one, you will basically tick the boxes of every major economic sector in the world. And we think that means that the region has a very natural strategic partnership. And because of that, we see it as core to our own identity. However, like everywhere in the world, the region has very important challenges to continue to develop into the continent that we would like to see it be. Among them, there are important shocks hitting the world economy, which are hitting countries and are hitting companies like ourselves. Among them, we have, for example, the renewables energy sector, which is disrupting the way we used to see energy happen. The leaders in the region, thankfully, have a very fortunate juggling act, in the sense that they have very important assets in the sector right now. They have very important endowments of traditional resources such as coal, gas, and oil. But fortunately, they also have very important endowments in things like like wind, water, and sun. Getting that transition right will be very important in order to power the region forward. It's actually something that's very important for ourselves. Our CEO has said that we will deploy $100 billion of our own balance sheet to help finance that transition this year. We take that to heart, and we think the region has very important prospects here. Another very important shock which is disrupting us all is the digital and information economy, which is arriving and hitting the planet as we speak. As an industry, we're being very heavily disrupted, but so is every other sector. The region, fortunately, has very important assets already, in the sense that it has a penetration of the technology we need to play here, internet penetration, mobile phone penetration. It has a large market that is growing and a population that is growing. However, in order to fully tap this sector and others, there are important challenges that we need to tackle together. The first one, which is and will be very important, is contract enforcement. The region has made very important strides here, but in order to give the incentives for innovators, countries need to protect contracts, which are what provide the entrepreneurs with the drive and incentives by knowing that their work will get the reward that it needs. We need to see important achievements in security. Sadly, some of the countries in the region need work on this front, and security is something that not only puts a cost on business, but it attracts it hits its citizens on their daily lives. We also need to see efforts on financial inclusion, in which we ourselves need to be a part of. And that financial inclusion is thankfully made better by technology, but we all need to reinvent ourselves. That is why, for example, we as a bank are building digital factories. So we try to implement these technologies in order to make the life of the citizens in the hemisphere better by implementing innovation. And we've built digital factories in many of our hubs throughout Latin America and in Canada. But I think most importantly of all, the biggest asset that the region has is its people. In order to fully tap the potential of that people, we need to invest very heavily in education. It's not for nothing that the digital economy is also known as a knowledge economy. And the region, unfortunately, lags much of the rest of the world, as we see in the PISA results. But fortunately, on the other hand, we have seen very consistent improvement in every country in the region in educational achievement. That is, I think, the most important message, and the final message I want to leave today is that in order to fully tap the potential of the region and be able to not only ride along on these new sectors of the economy, but to actually drive it, we need to make very important effort in education. And that is something where the private sector and the public sectors of the region will need to form a very important partnership. And with that, I will leave it because I think I'm basically at the end of my time. Thank you very much.